22, criminal trespass. 2000.
Just no reaction, right? She's like, yeah. Okay, every day is becoming more and more of a struggle. I had a bad night. This is from Stomp World. This famous guy. She is now going to be famous, so let's check out what this video is all about.
Why do we tolerate this?
2004, theft. 2004, theft. 2005, felony theft. 2005, theft. 2005, theft. 2006, theft from a person, felony theft from a person. Possession of a controlled substance. 2007, possession of a controlled substance. 2008, theft. 2009, possession of controlled substance. 2010, possession of a controlled substance. Possession of a controlled substance. 2012, theft. Theft, assault, theft, 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 theft. 2019, theft. 2020, theft. 2021, theft.
Damn.
2021, theft. 2021,
Oh my
criminal
God.
trespass. 2021, theft. 2022, theft. 2000.
Thanks for clicking on the Ochanos channel, where we cover trending videos for the day.
22, criminal trespass. 2000.
Just no reaction, right? She's like, yeah.
2022, theft. 22, theft. 22, theft. 24, theft. 23, theft.
Yeah.
23, theft. And now, another theft.
Stop letting her out.
You will not believe what
Oh,
happens here.
it's a bigger problem than that, you know? So imagine the amount of times that she's been brought before a judge or a magistrate or whatever, wherever it's at, and someone, the DA, is soft because it boils down to the DA if they want to prosecute her. So it's going by that. Like LA for a while had the weakest DA in history. And we had a lot of people that were committing violent crimes who were being let free. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. I'm not wrong. It's disgusting. It's sick. So blame the DAs. Now check this out. This is from Cliff Buell, and that guy up on top is very famous. Check it out.
Watch.
One of my early questions, I said to them, what is the Bible? And one of the guys said, it's just a book of rules. And I'm thinking, no, it's the greatest love story that's ever been written. So he said, it's a book of rules. And my buddy that was sitting there with me, he goes, really? He said, it's a book of rules. And he picked up his Bible, and there was a trash can there, and he dropped it in there. He said, if it's a book of rules, would that bother you? And one of the guys, the guy in the class that I was scared to death, a big, huge guy named Wayne, got up, walked over, and he pulled that thing out of the trash can, and he wiped it off. And he said, don't ever do that again. I said, well, Wayne, if it's a book of rules, why does that bother you so much? And Wayne said, let me tell you a story.
So the story goes, the guy inherited money, and then, yeah, he just said F everything, right? And he was just partying. That's all he was doing. He ended up losing his home, his house, his apartment, whatever he had, car, because he had this money, and he was just partying with a couple girls and some friends. Yeah. And then this happened.
Like, dude, you want me to bag that stuff up? And the guy said, well, those are things I found that might be worth something if you want to look through it before we bag it up. And Wayne said he went over there and started looking through the stuff, and he reaches down in the dust and the dirt, and he pulls the book out, and he opens it up, and there's the love letter from his mom. It's his Bible. A year later, year and a half later, and 100 miles away. And he said, I collapsed to the floor and started sobbing. If you put that...
That was because he had been homeless. That money led him down a bad path. He became homeless. He lost the Bible that his mother gave him and had a love note in it. As a mother gives love to a child, then he finds it years later as he's building himself back up. God is great. All right, so let's see what's next.
Finally, we have people saying this on mainstream television.
We had dozens of deaths where you didn't say nothing.
I know a guy who just can't stand this guy, right? Can't stand him. I think he's great because, he doesn't care what other people say.
You said matters Every single
Welcome
thing.
back, Greg.
No, everything you said does not matter.
It does to
because
millions of
it
people.
doesn't. Because everything you mentioned are the consequences of the.
what
Oh, you
we
can
did.
go ahead and scoff. How did we get here? Pull back. How did we get here? An open border that let millions in, and you guys didn't
Yes.
do 2 Alex, here's 3 pages of women who have been murdered by illegal aliens in the last like 7 or 8.
And it won't matter to the other side. It won't matter. It'll be like, oh, they, anyways, by a white guy or whatever, somebody in the country.
8 years, the 7 or 8 years that we have been here talking about this and mocked over it. It's like you're the maid trying to clean up a mess and somebody there is staring at you going, oh, you got to clean it up better. No, you made the mess. This is the Democrat Party's mess that we are
Exactly
trying to clean up. And you're saying, wow, these ICE agents are using terrible language. We don't care.
Exactly.
Horrible language. Get the F on the ground. I said, shut your effing mouth. Here's some pepper spray for you. We don't care as long as they get the job done. We do kind of care.
Clip into the end if you want to understand why Trump is doing what he's doing. All right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now check it out.
Yeah.
Dino, the UAE just left OPEC. What is OPEC, and is this a big deal? Is it going to impact oil?
I think OPEC stands for the Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's what it means. So basically, it's a cartel, right? The oil world is an oligopoly. That means there's a few players only that have the oil. So it's like an oligopoly. And then within that oligopoly, an oligopoly is like a monopoly, but with several players. Within that, OPEC is like a cartel. And what OPEC does, if you're a member of OPEC, they control production, they control pricing.
So, yeah, he's not an oil guy. He would know all that if he was an oil guy. Most likely is some kind of financial advisor or trader.
They'll say like, hey, we want prices per barrel of oil to be this much. And then what happens is, so each of you member countries can only produce so much because it's a supply and
So they
demand thing.
collude on pricing.
They price
They do.
setting. So the UAE leaving OPEC, why? It's because they want to be a regional player. They're moving closer towards the West, us, the US, meaning in their ally, things that they do as a good ally of the US, they're moving towards like us, coming towards us. So they're leaving the cartel because they have excess production capacity. They've spent so much money on building out their infrastructure to produce more oil.
Yeah, I'm going to add that they're going to make more money, at least the UAE. Saudi Arabia controls that particular sphere in that area, and it's
Cartel
been
members
around
leave,
for a
they
long
have less
time.
control over the price. So the long-term, academic view on this, logically, is if they leave, maybe more other people leave, and more people who leave means there's more supply coming into the market because there's more suppliers now not being controlled. So more oil, more supply, oil prices could drop, basically.
Yeah, they could drop, and I hope they do because, man, that gas pump is hurting. Man, it's hurting, brother. Next. Okay, we are over at Instagram now, where you become Insta famous. Let's check this out. I just found this. This is a kid. That's a car on the sidewalk chasing him down at 49,000 hearts. Dude. I hope they caught that lady, because that's some sickness right there. Where's the sound?
You're about to see is pretty disturbing, but
Okay. Don't tell me about it, just show it to me, lady.
you can actually see the woman driving on the sidewalk after the child. The neighbor who shot the video telling ABC News that the driver had been honking and screaming before the boy even showed up. The witness says that neighbors sprang into action, pulling the boy to safety, and then called 911. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt. The sheriff's office did say that the driver is now being charged with assault, trespassing, and yes, DUI. So a driver.
So that was in Spokane, Washington, and people are sick. People are demented. Lord, do your work on this country. It needs you. Okay, we are going to check out X, our news section. My account was suspended on X because they told me I had inauthentic content. I was suspended like a whole bunch of people were, thousands and thousands of people, with no explanation other than that. Unauthentic. Like I used AI, but I used their AI. I would ask it a question, and then from the question, I would have it go to the imagine side of it where I would have it make a video from its own answer. I mean, okay, that's fine. It saved me money. I feel bad for this guy right here, Alpha Fox, because he lost thousands and thousands of people who were subscribed to him. I was subscribed to him. I will pray for the guy. I'm sure he'll recover. Very, very famous guy. So let's check out to see what we have for news. It says it's from the Wall Street 8. He used to be a software designer at Apple, and with every new phone that was released, malware was installed on the older phones. You're kidding me. To make you have to update so your phone's not just glitching, it's doing that on purpose. Oh my gosh, dude, I have suspected that for a long time because it just doesn't all of a sudden just start glitching out, especially if it was working fine.
I used to be a software engineer at Apple, and with every new phone that was released, malware was installed on the older phones to make you have to update. So your phone's not just glitching, it's doing that on purpose.
Okay, so malware is not being installed on your phone. It's just the programming, the language, and the structure of the program is not going to work as well on an older version as it's made to work on a newer version. So I'd like to make that clear. It's kind of misleading what she's saying, and every program that you run, it does the same thing. It works on newer systems. It doesn't work on older systems. That's just common sense, common knowledge. Okay, what do we have over here for today's news? Trump issues ultimatum to Iran over Strait of Hormuz. Nope, that's old news. Yeah, that was 15 hours ago. That again. What is that? Yeah, those are nutcrackers. Oh, see that? See that down there? I'm pretty sure that's yeah, that's like to break bone. Let's see if I'm right. Dude, I'm not gonna get your new version of stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it. You can't force me. Anyways, that's all that we have for today. I'd like to thank you for watching the channel for this long. I truly do appreciate you. Click that logo up there, and that's how you join the channel. It helps the channel grow. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next one.